Hello, everybody. I'm going to go over the impact of voter turnout in swing states. So before we get into it, I just want to mention my hypothesis. It was presidential elections in swing states are more competitive and so have higher turnout, while safe states in the lack of competition results in decreased turnout. So what does that mean at a basic level? It means that states that are considered safe states will have a smaller percentage of their registered voters turn out in comparison to competitive swing states. So the data I use for this comes from the state 2016 data set. These election results are certified by the State Board of Elections. I use supplemental information from the New York Times, and I specifically used a program called Statista, or a website called Statista, to look over this state-by-state information certified by the Board of Elections. So this is my descriptives table. You can see my variables, my observations, the mean, standard deviation, minimum, and maximum. We have VEP 16 turnout, which is basically voter turnout in each state. Trump 16 and Clinton 16 were basically are literally the percentages that each of those candidates got in each respective state. 2016 is the population in each state, and DemStat 2017 is what percentage of each state's state legislature do Democrats make up. Yeah. So me being a visual person, I made a few graphs just to look through my paper. This is the voting turnout for each of the 50 states. And in the far right, you can see the US average. This one was another one I used for visual. You can see the margin of victory by winning candidate on the x-axis. This basically says, well, how much did one of these candidates, or how much did the winner of that state win by? Did they win by 2 percentage points, 5 percentage points, 10 percentage points, whatever? And then on the y-axis, you see the turnout of eligible voters, of registered voters. So basically, while we're looking at this negative slope, we can see that generally the closer the margin of victory was, the higher the turnout was. It's not concrete, it's not exact, but you can see a general trend. And this is my regression table. Again, using those same variables, you can see the coefficients. The sad thing for Model 1 is neither of them were statistically significant. I don't know if that was a problem with me understanding the data or using wrong variables, but it is interesting to note that it is negative for the coefficients. So the better that these candidates did, or the higher that voter turnout was, the smaller percentage that the candidates won by. And so, yeah, in conclusion, my hypothesis is correct, roughly, but is not as definitively as one would like to see. The failure to reject the null raises questions and shows that there is much more room for the data. Perhaps better handling of the software and the data would provide a clearer picture. And once again, going back to this regression table, because I didn't touch on it, for Model 2, you can see for the different coefficients, there's different levels of statistical significance. And the data here is kind of all jumbled up. And to be quite honest, it's hard to interpret, but that was something interesting that I saw. And the most statistically significant one was the Dem State 2017. Perhaps the voting laws had a bigger part to play in all of this. Well, that was my presentation. I hope you enjoyed, and thank you.